This is Pete. He's the owner of GBH Stage Equipment Backline Hire, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his event experience and his business here.
Hello kids. Apparently you're all studying music, and you're probably starting to realise that you may not have a future as a musician, but that doesn't mean you can't have a future in music. There's a million jobs goes on to make a show happen. You may have seen the other guys speaking already, so you might have some idea of what we do here. We supply backline, which is the stuff that the bands actually use on stage. Drum kits, pianos, amplifiers, guitars, that kind of stuff. So I own this place, but I got here by being a technician and a truck loader and all sorts of things. I've done a million things. I've built festivals and fixed guitars and stage managed. In fact, I still stage manage. I tour with a couple of big festivals, like Soundwave, you may have heard of, one of the biggest touring festivals in the world, an Australian phenomenon. I stage manage with that, go around the country with that. But most of the time I spend here in this big warehouse. So I guess Kat can show you the big warehouse if you haven't seen it already. There's all our stuff. The loading dock, I know someone has talked about already. Come for a walk, we'll have a look down the aisleway. It's not always as glamorous as you might imagine. So, for instance, this is my office. It's a tent in the warehouse. And that's my desk. I do have 3 computer screens. I guess that's a bit of a symbol of power. But, you know, it's just not always as glamorous as you might think. This here is actually my kitchen. When I go on the road, I'll put this in a semi-trailer. Packs up, it's a road case. I've got a coffee machine, I've got a microwave, I have a fridge, have a kettle, sandwich maker. So when I'm stuck on a stage for 12 to 20 hours of a day dealing with lots and lots and lots of bands, I've got what I need here. I can have coffee or eat or have a cold drink or whatever I need. It's a godsend, believe me. We've got a million drum kits. Well, actually we've got about 40, not a million. We've got cymbals and we've got snares and we've got drum hardware. That must be the next aisle. All of this stuff goes out to shows all the time, mainly festivals and nightclub events, that kind of thing. Lots and lots of bands that you would probably know. Probably listen to on the radio, all that kind of stuff. We've got down there Vox and Fender, all amplifiers, double basses actually, because most artists these days, they don't do road tours as such, certainly not in the Southern Hemisphere. Everything's too far spread out. They get on aeroplanes, they fly everywhere. So consequently, it's very expensive to take a big item like this on an aeroplane, even though it's a very personal instrument, it's very expensive. So they tend to hire this sort of stuff when they arrive in this city, for instance, which is Brisbane, Australia. They might only be here for one day, then the next day they might be, say, in Melbourne, which is a 2-day drive. So they obviously can't do it. They need to get on an aeroplane and fly there. They'll hire a different one when they're in Melbourne. This is what we do every day. There's an enormous range of career choices that you have in live music. You could be a sound engineer, you could be a lighting technician, you could be a backline tech, which is what most of us here are. You could be a venue manager, venue operator. You could be you can build stages, you can build roofs, you can do site. There's a million different things that go on. Apparently, we're going to have an invitation to you guys to ask specific questions of all of us. So have a think on that, send something back to us, and we'll do it again sometime soon, I guess. And I hope you've got some really interesting questions for us.
Thanks, Pete.
That's it.
Appreciate it.